And now, it's time for another Dice Tower review with Tom Vasel.
Hey folks, I'm Tom Vasel, and today we're taking a look at a card game called Eternal Chronicles of the Throne. Now, Eternal, which is from Renegade Games and Dire Wolf, the design studio behind us, is the ones who brought us the fantastic game Clank. Clank is an amazing game, so I was very much looking forward to this. This is also based on an app-driven card game called Eternal. Although the rulebook specifically says this is not the same game, this is a sister game, so I have not played Eternal, I cannot compare the two, I just know that they are different, although I know they're in the same universe. This is a 2 to 4 player deck building game where you're going to be attacking the other people, trying to make them lose all their life. There is actually several of these games in existence, so I was interested to see what this one adds to the table. Let's get started. At the beginning of the game, you're going to have an Eternal Throne card, which is going to have a number of Seek Power cards on it. 2 per player will be placed on it. So at most, 8 cards will be placed on it. You have a pile of Veteran Mercenaries. They're in every game. And then you have a whole deck here, and you'll have 6 cards placed face up here in the Forge row. Each player is going to have a starting deck that's made up of a pile of Diplomacy cards, a Worn Shield, a Refresh card, a Secret Pages card, and then one of these basic units. Everyone will have a slightly asymmetrical start. So maybe I start with the Stone Powdered Alchemist. You're going to shuffle your deck. You're going to draw 5 cards. On a player's turn, they're going to play every card from their hand. After they're done playing the cards, any cards that don't stay on the table will be discarded. They'll draw 5 more cards. When your deck runs out, you'll take your discard pile and shuffle it back, and you'll have a deck. Which means if you buy more cards to put in your deck will get better as the game goes by, hence this being called a deck builder. Now, many of the cards, when you play them, are going to give you power. You're going to be using power to buy cards. So you can see out here, for example, there's cards in line. Most of these, there are only 1 or 2 copies in of the deck itself, but you can buy, Veteran Mercenary, so this costs 2 power. This assembly line costs 3. This Treasury Guard costs 4. You'll notice that Elaine, Queen of the Wilds, costs 6. What this means is I have 2 of these warp tokens in front of me. I can spend one of these when I buy her to immediately use her. Hey, wait, that's me. That's my character. Anyway. And I can use her right away if I do that. Now, you only have 2 of these tokens to flip over. However, one of the player's basic cards, Refresh, will refresh your warp tokens so you can use them again. So as you buy these cards, you'll put them in your discard pile usually, unless you can put it directly into play. So power lets you get more cards, but a lot of other cards are going to be units. Units have a power on them. An attack, this is the strength of that character. So if I put this Mystic Ascendant into play, not only does it let me draw a card, and if I generate at least 7 power this turn, he gets +2 strength, but he's a 4 strength unit, and I'll leave him in play. At the end of my turn, all the units that are still in play will automatically attack the person to my left. However, that attack doesn't happen until the end of their turn. Which means if the Mystic Ascendant is in front of me, my opponent, who might have Elaine, Queen of the Wilds, can play her. Since her strength here is equal to my strength, she can block him, and then they're both discarded. So you can use your units to block your opponent's units. If you do not, though, their strength is going to be subtracted from your life. Everyone starts with 25 life, but that's going to go down, and your goal is to eliminate the other characters and make them go to 0, which will eliminate them from the game. So you can use your units, you can leave them on the table to attack the person to your left, or the other person if you're playing a 2-player game, or you can block units, but they have to be the same. So there's special, abilities all over these things, like flying, and all your other units have flying. Flying units can only be blocked by other flying units. This Treasury Guard has +1 defense, which means they're a 2. Strength when attacking, but when defending, they're a 3. And endurance means if you block with them, they also aren't discarded. They'll stay out and attack the next person. So there are all kinds of special abilities in here. Now, Seek Powers, you'll be buying these because they give you 2 power to spend. When these are all gone, the Eternal Throne comes into play. And when the Eternal Throne comes into play, any card that has the Eternal Throne icon on it will also happen. So for example here, this says you may banish this to create a 2 cavalry. There's lots of different units in the game, so I might banish this to put a little 2 token into play. This is a one-time use token. I can attack or defend with it, and then it's gone. So banishing a card will simply means removing that card from the game. And that's pretty much it. You're just going to keep going through your deck and putting out units and attacking people. Sometimes there are cards in here that will get special abilities if you've played another card. So for example, this back alley bouncer will let you destroy an enemy unit if you played another card with that symbol at the top. And some of these cards have 2 symbols, making them more useful to put in your deck. So like for in this Treasury Guard, we've already seen them, that +1 defense and endurance doesn't happen unless I've also played another green card. Or this Order of the Spire, if I play another green card, they get +1 power equal, or they get plus power equal to their current power. So they're 2, that will double to 4. And if I manage to make it higher some other way, that will go even higher. So there's all sorts of cards in here, and you will eventually try to take out your opponent and win the game. So the artwork for the cards in the game is really well done. I especially like the Yetis, or whatever they're called, this Icicle Marksman. I really like those type of characters. Overall, the Snow Ranger, I just really enjoy those characters. I think they're a lot of fun. And the artwork here I think is just extremely cool looking. Also the symbology is very simple, easy to read. The symbols in the top corner are very easy to tell apart. Different colors and different symbols. The strength of the characters right there. The cost up here and what they do. I mean, there is, you know, you're going to have to figure out, you have to look in the book to see maybe what endurance is. But after you do these a few times, you'll figure out what they are. And the game comes with reference cards that tell you almost all the terms on them anyhow. See? There's endurance, there's flying, lifestyle, mercenary, unblockable, voidbind. So setting the game up, the only thing I might complain about are these tokens are a little, I mean, really it doesn't matter which one you use. They're double-sided because this 2 and this 2 are essentially the same thing. It doesn't matter. They're fine. The tokens, they work. There's even like this token here, the Valkyrie Wings, which are literally in the game for a single card that you can make flying and give +1 power to. Everything fits very easily into the base game box. It's a pretty simple game to set up and play. Okay, so first of all, the rules say when you eliminate somebody, you get a bonus of 5 health, and you can take any card in a row, and then you keep going. I'll just say flat out, I dislike this game with more than 2 players. Straight down. Most games like this I do. I mean, at least this one doesn't let you attack anybody. You attack the person to your left, that's fine. But there's a lot of games in this genre, and whenever the multiplayer games here just don't work. You can attack, you know, one person gets attacked and they get defeated. The person who defeats them gets a bonus, which makes them even stronger to hit the next person. It just feels very problematic. And if this person to my right is constantly wailing on me, that's their strategy, and I have to defend them, that I'm not hitting this person, it just seems it's okay with more than 2. With 2, well, I should say it's okay. I don't like it with more than 2. With 2, it's okay. Here's the problem that this game faces, and again, I know that whenever I do these sorts of reviews, the Eternal fans will come in and be like, what, you don't like Eternal? No, I'm talking about Eternal Chronicles of the Throne, nothing about Eternal. But this game, amazing artwork. It's a deck builder. Deck builders are fun. They're a genre that I like a lot. It's a competitive, attack the other person deck builder. In this arena, there are 2 very popular games, one of them being Star Realms / Hero Realms and Shards of Infinity, which took Star Realms and added a few things to it. Eternal Chronicles of the Throne kind of takes those games, puts a little bit of Magic the Gathering in, like units, they block each other and stuff. And it comes out at the end looking like, unfortunately, a pale imitation / mediocre game. It's, like I said, you got to play it with 2 first of all. It's okay. I don't dislike the game while I'm playing it. It's longer than it should be, I feel. You're kind of chipping away at your opponent, especially if you both buy the same amount of units. And there's a couple problems with that. One, sometimes it just comes down to, I got a good hand, you didn't. Here's all my strong units. You didn't manage to block any of them. Boom, I got you, game over. And it's not because I built necessarily a better deck. It's because I got a really good hand, or you really got a lousy hand. And that's problematic to me because in a normal deck builder, when you collect cards and stuff, if you get a bad hand, fine, you'll get your good hand later. But here, a bad hand can absolutely devastate you if your opponent is attacking you and you can't really block them. So that's one of my problems with the game. The other problem is that there's just nothing new here. The new thing is the Eternal Throne, right? Once the Eternal Throne is freed, then some of your cards have special abilities. I just don't care about that. I mean, that's not that big of a deal. Everything else we've seen before, and I'm not opposed to the, hey, we've seen it before and now we're going to use these things. It's just not that interesting overall. Even the special abilities, ooh, flying and, you know, steadfast or whatever. I've seen these in Magic and other games. So it's a well-produced game that feels slightly soulless, other than the cool Yetis. I don't really feel any kind of connection to this universe. And the universe doesn't really come out, and it just feels very samey to other stuff that's out there. So while I think a lot of people will enjoy it, I don't know if it will stand a test of time against these other more popular games that already exist, like Star Realms and Shards of Infinity. Again, there's some cool things. Take a card, you can use it right away, which was introduced in Shards of Infinity. We have the deck building genre itself, which the Renegade had turned on its head with Clank. They took deck building and made it an amazing, different experience. This is not an amazing, different experience to me. This is more of the same. So if this had been the first of this genre, I would have thought it was pretty decent. As it is coming out, I'm like, seen that, been there, which is unfortunate. Again, not saying it's a bad game. The game works okay. It's back and forth fighting with two players. But at the end of the day, it's a little forgettable. Dice Tower Judgment, it's okay.
Thanks so much for watching another Dice Tower video. If you enjoy our videos, subscribe to the channel for more fun, comprehensive board game coverage. Also, consider joining us at one of our events. Come to Dice Tower Retreat, a small, intimate gathering for gaming and gaming. Join us for Dice Tower Cruise, the largest board game cruise. Attend the Dice Tower West in Las Vegas for gaming fun on the West Coast, or Dice Tower East in Orlando, in sunny Florida. Dice Tower Conventions, the friendliest gaming conventions on Earth. I'm Eric Summerer, and you've been watching the Dice Tower.